Weights have been lifted. Sprints have been run. Preparation for today's game is history. It's time to get it done. You're listening on MichiganSportsRadio.com.
Winter finals will be here before you know it, and there's still a need for registered officials. I'm John Ross, and this is This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid. Welcome to 2023 as we pick up our winter sports season already in progress. While it seems like the fall season just wrapped up, winter championships will be here soon. So let's get you caught up on the whens and wheres for each of our sports. First is the Upper Peninsula Swimming and Diving Finals for both boys and girls on February 18th. And then it's on to Team Wrestling Finals on February 24th and 25th in Kalamazoo. And that's followed by Boys and Girls Skiing Finals February 27th. March is when the schedule really heats up. The competitive cheer finals will be March 2nd and 3rd this year, and those will be held at the McGurk Arena in Mount Pleasant. Girls and boys bowling finals will be held March 3rd and 4th, the same weekend as individual wrestling finals at Ford Field. Ice hockey drops the puck March 9th through 11th for semifinals and finals at USA Hockey Arena in Plymouth. Gymnastics finals are that weekend as well. Those will be held at Lakeland High School. And the Lower Peninsula Boys Swimming and Diving finals are also March 10th and 11th. Girls basketball invades the Breslin Center on March 16th for the start of 3 days of semifinals and finals action. Champions will be crowned on Saturday, March 18th. And then the boys move in the next weekend. Semifinal play starts March 23rd, and all four finals will be Saturday, March 25th. Both boys and girls basketball finals will be carried live on Bally Sports Detroit. For schedules, pairings, brackets, tickets, and streaming information, the best place to go is to the newly redesigned MHSAA.com. Everything that you need for our winter finals can be found there. Game balls this week go to Belding junior wrestler Jack Ward. He notched career win number 100 over the break, joining his older brother Mitchell and his dad/coach Art as 100 match winners at Belding. To Bedford's Victoria Gray, she scored 25 points in a 9-point win over South Lyon East in the Airport Showcase. Bedford is off to a 7-0 start this year in girls basketball. And to Montebello senior J.T. Smith. He went over the 1,000 career points mark in a win over St. Charles.
Need money for college? You need My Student Aid. My Student Aid is the go-to resource that helps Michigan families find money to pay for college. Plus, they'll guide you through the financial aid process and answer any questions you have. For grants, scholarships, and more, connect with My Student Aid, helping make college affordable for everyone. Learn more at michigan.gov/MIStudentAid.
Our weekly Be the Referee feature takes a look at the fine art of officiating with the MHSAA's Sam Davis.
If you've seen the movie Hoosiers, you know that a basketball rim is 10 feet above the ground. That's the same if you're in the gym at Beaver Island High School or at Little Caesars Arena. But what are the other court dimensions? To start, courts are typically 84 feet long, but can be up to 94 feet long. They're also 50 feet wide. The free throw line is 15 feet from the face of the backboard, and the high school three-point line is 19 feet 9 inches from the basket. Each hoop is a circle, 18 inches in diameter. The boys play with a basketball 29.5 inches in circumference. The girls play with one at 28.5 inches in circumference. And believe it or not, 2 girl balls will go through a standard rim at the same time.
Thanks, Sam. Now more than ever, we need officials. If you are interested, go to the MHSAA website now to register. Sticking with officiating, since 2020, the number of registered officials in Michigan has fallen from more than 9,000 to less than 8,000.
The sinister cries.
Week.
To head over the timeline to Gable. Gable straight to the basket. Elevates. Slams it down over top of Orbaugh. Won't get it. Ryans dribbles to the corner. 15 seconds to go. Ryans, Vanderjack, up fake, launches a three. Good! Oh my goodness! Out to the point. Rosema, innocent space. Shot scores! 2-goal lead for the Bulldogs. 4 unanswered. Giving on to Titus. Titus angles, pull up shot for the lead. Good! Brady Titus, a scream to the heavens after he knocks it down.
And hello everyone, and welcome to Game Night. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you here from Vanderslice Gymnasium. The OK Red rolls on for the Grandville Bulldogs CT, a team that has moved into the top 10 across the area, pretty much regardless what rankings you may look at, and for good reason. It's now 3 wins in a row at home. The wins against East Kentwood, Hudsonville, and the big one against formerly number 4 in the state, Grand Haven, Chandler. And that's where we have to start. Huge win, momentum going. Need one tonight, by the way, because there's other big games coming. But this Grandville team is hitting a new level in their play right now.
Yeah, they've looked like a completely different team after early in the season. Dropping a game to Caledonia, they've came back red hot, winning games against some of the top teams in the conference. Teams that have been racking up impressive wins of their own outside of against the Bulldogs. So the stretch that they've been able to play these last couple weeks, these last couple games, has them in a really good spot. Now, as you look in at the top of the OK Red Conference, every game going to mean that much more as we move forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Jenison comes in to town tonight, 4-8 overall in the year. They're 1-4 in the OK Red. They got to win against West Ottawa. That is their only loss so far in the season, or in the conference this season. But they are a hard-nosed team, I think is the way I've described. They've struggled to score, for sure. This team, they're averaging 48 points per game on the year, but they certainly can find a way to defend you, to make your life tough, especially for a half. You saw them play Rockford and other teams close in that first half. Coach Allen brings out some interesting things defensively in terms of zones and different looks that they have as well, Chandler. That's where it starts. This is certainly, it is a top versus bottom of the OK Red right now game, but we know how tight the top and bottom always is in the OK Red, and Jenison does enough interesting things. This is certainly a game that cannot be overlooked for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, definitely. I think Jenison, as you said, is willing to mix it up enough, throw some different looks. They're not just a team that's going to struggle and just stay put and keep things where they're at. They're definitely going to try to mix things up a little bit, try to do everything they can. They play close in a lot of games and historically have been able to play some competitive games with the Bulldogs throughout the last couple years.
Yeah, they won here last year, and then obviously these teams also met up in the district semifinals. The Bulldogs won that game. That was the Braden Gable dunk game, I think is what it mostly is known for in the time that's gone on. But yeah, they do things that can make your life tough, and they can find a way to kind of grind you, just like Grandville wants to. And that certainly, I think you're looking at a game that's going to be played a little bit first to 50, and shots and shot selection is going to be fairly important as this night goes along. About 17 minutes, warm-ups just underway here from Vanderslice Gymnasium as both teams are out. You can see them rolling here with our video coverage. Continuing again here tonight on game night. For the Bulldogs, Chandler, Logan Stockwell finally fully found his groove on Friday with 17 points, 4 threes. He's shooting. He scores off the bounce. I believe Stockwell, and you've seen it growing the last few games, has become the Bulldogs' second perimeter scorer alongside Tyson Mann they've been looking for the last little bit here.
Yeah, it's been huge what he's been able to bring to the offense these last couple games, looking like he's really starting to get comfortable with what his role is. I think he's trying to find that mix of not being too aggressive and trying to take over the offense too much, but at the same time, when you have open looks, you know what his ability can be and his ability to knock down shots and also put it on the deck and attack the basket. And I think start to see him get more comfortable and understanding what his role is going to be in this offense and be comfortable within that just adds another element for this Bulldogs offense.
For Jenison, we mentioned how they mix things up a little bit, and let's talk about that defensively. You've seen it in the past. They can play man, they can grind you, but they really love, Coach Dominic Allen loves to bring out kind of a 2-3 zone, maybe some 3-2, but mostly a 2-3 zone look, something the Bulldogs really haven't faced that much this year. it'd be interesting if they do show it off as a side note, because Grandville has Rockford, of course. They're going to Rockford on Friday. Rockford likes to play some zone here and there under Coach Clough, so that could be interesting to see. But like you said, they're going to show you some man. They're going to show you some zone. They're tough while they're undersized inside. They've got some bigger bodies that can, kind of grind with you and give a little bit different matchup for Cam Regneris. It's going to be that end of the floor that we're going to probably have the most talking points. If the Bulldogs offense, can it stay going, and what can Jenison do to mix it up with them?
Yeah, I think the Bulldogs offense, with as well as they've been playing, Jenison going to have to try to find something to keep them off balance a little bit. I think that we've seen in years past the Bulldogs, when you're playing teams like West Ottawa, you knew you were coming into playing a zone defense. You could get prepared for it. I think when you've got a team that can kind of mix it up, it presents some different challenges in what you're trying to prepare for. But I think you did see a little bit on Friday night, the Grand Haven defense switching into a zone for a couple times, and the Bulldogs right away attacking it, looking like they had some plays drawn up. They knew where they needed to be within that to make their offense flow. And so whether Jenison decides to go to a zone look all the time, if they're switching back and forth between zone and man, look for the Bulldogs to be prepared for that.
Cam Regneris, another ho-hum, shall we say, 17 points against Grand Haven, just does what he continues to do lately for the terrific Bulldog junior. He also has found his offensive groove, and really, we talked about it Friday, and it stays true. As Cam Regneris goes, the team goes offensively. Even if he isn't the highest scorer, which he was tied, his ability to be efficient leads to the rest of this offense being effective. Yeah, I think when Cam is playing well, it really just builds up from there. You can see it defensively. When he's locking down the lane and being a shot blocker at the rim, it makes it difficult. He can really frustrate a lot of attacking the basket. He can go out and contest some shots, and on defense, he's been a tremendous shot blocker his entire career. Can frustrate teams to that end, and then offensively also finding his rhythm a little bit and being a serious threat in the painted area. When they can get him some post touches, he can go to work. There's very few players in the area that are going to match up size-wise with what Cam Regneris brings to the table each and every night, and so it's always going to be a struggle for the opposing team is what they're going to do in that matchup. All right, Scott Bates, Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show. A lot more to get to. We're going to take a quick break here from the Bates Agency and Centennial Securities. And when we come back, let's break down a little bit more, get into some of those other big-time Bulldog performers in the win over Grand Haven and some of what Jenison will be throwing at the Dogs here tonight.
Jerry opened the letter. An eviction notice? He and his family couldn't bear to move again. It was warm and they had plenty of space for their acorns. Anxiety took a hold of him. Then suddenly,
"You've got squirrels in your engine and they chew through the wiring."
and it was covered thanks to a farmer's agent. Engine Bay Squatters, May 23rd, 2015. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today at 616-531-3441. Your local farmer's agent who helps you plan for the unexpected.
I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. I've heard it said that professional coaches measure success in rings, college coaches measure success in championships, and high school coaches measure it in titles. But youth coaches measure success in smiles. At Centennial Securities, we're like the youth coach. Our success is measured by the smiles on the faces of our satisfied clients. If you're a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
And welcome back here to Vanderslice Gymnasium. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you. CT, let's take a look at this Jenison team here coming into Grandville tonight for this OK Red Conference matchup. A couple guys that are going to come to the forefront, and a lot of times it's going to come from their backcourt. We'll get into kind of the group of frontcourt players that the Wildcats bring to the table on the whole in just a minute. Chris Van Slambrook, we'll start with him, a combo guard really, and a guy that can create pretty effectively, the junior. He can score off the bounce. He can score from deep a little bit. He, along with the combination of the sophomore point guard, Charlie Norton, that'll kind of help lead the break. He can catch and shoot really well. Those are the two guys that they'll play both on and off the ball a little bit. A somewhat dynamic backcourt that they can both score at all three levels, but especially from deep. They can create for themselves and for each other in particular as well.
Yeah, I think similar players and skill set there, and nice to have in the backcourt for them there when got multiple players that can handle basketball. The guys that can get out in the fast break are active on the defensive end, can get some loose basketballs, turn them into points, go in the other direction. Both good defenders, and then both have the ability to hit some open looks, whether that's creating it themselves or just in the flow of the offense, knocking down some shots from long range.
Scott Bates, Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show rolls on. I don't know the purpose of going to this alternate camera angle, but I just like messing with whatever little tools that we have in our toolbox to work with. Grandville, Tyson Mann, Quentin Hendrickson. We've been looking for this Grandville backcourt to kind of hit the next level a little bit in terms of what they can bring to the table offensively. Well, of course, Tyson's been very good. A little hot or cold. Of course, he was, held off the score sheet against Caledonia. Quentin Hendrickson, I think he was a little finding a groove, preoccupied with defense and ball handling, doing a very good job at that. He goes for 13. Tyson goes for 14. And those two creating off the bounce, creating from 3 as well in particular. You want to talk about finding a groove. Those two really finding a groove. And we talked about Stockwell as a wing scorer. Well, you have those two on the perimeter scoring right now as well.
Yeah, I think it really, the whole team is finding that. I mean, we broke it down by player, and you kind of say the same thing with the offense as a whole is just looking comfortable. That's the easiest way to put it is they're playing hot right now. Sometimes it takes that. It takes a couple weeks into the season to get comfortable, each player to kind of find their role and understand what their attacking ability is in the offense and what they're going to be asked to do. And so I think you just go up and down the lineup, the starting lineup especially, and you see each of these players starting to play really well off of each other. You've got the big down low that you can attack. You've got multiple guys that can hitch off the bounce, guys that can shoot from the wing. And so you really start to put it all together, and that's why this offense is playing as well as it is.
Well, we've talked a lot, and for good reason, about Friday night. A big part of Friday night, of course, that 14-0 run in the fourth quarter as Grandville comes back to hold off Grand Haven and take down the number 4 team in the state. We're going to step aside, and then we're going to go to a little feature. Let's take a look back at some of the fourth quarter highlights from Grandville's win on Friday night.
The sinister cries haunted Mary through the night. Dawn neared, and still the voice tormented her. She ran towards the safety of her car, flung open the door, and a coyote had somehow gotten locked inside. But the damaged interior was covered, thanks to Farmers Insurance. Coyote Carpool, August 1st, 2015. Talk to a farmer's agent. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today, 616-531-3441. A proud supporter of MichiganGameNight.com.
Can you identify your number one personal trait? The thing that you do better than most others? If not, this may be a good time to think this through. If you're really good at writing, then why use the phone? If you're great on the phone, why use email? If you have exceptional human relation skills, why sit back and let others lead? I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities Company. Playing to our strengths is something we do very well at Centennial. And if you're already a customer, you know what I mean. If not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
Man drives on Basil with space. Quentin Hendrickson, yes! Bulldogs by 3, 5.5 to go.
Now created by Tyson Mann, able to get all the way underneath the basket. Looked like he was going to go up with a shot, instead able to find Hendrickson wide open.
5 minutes to go. What a big shot that was for Hendrickson, though, and for the Bulldogs to kind of reset themselves a little bit and stop the bleeding and take the lead back. Tyson Mann cooking, corner for Hackman. Mann, pull up, yes. 11 for Tyson Mann, the Bulldogs back up 5.
We talked about Sorrell's ability to create his own shot. Tyson Mann right there taking a page out of that playbook.
Sorrell, Stockwell versus Korenstra. Hendrickson, space again. Oh, he got it again. 13, Quentin Hendrickson, timeout, Grand Haven. Bulldogs by 8. Got it to Tyson Mann. Under 3 minutes to go. Mann driving, kicking around. Corner, Stockwell again, and 1! Bulldogs by 11.
Team play right there. Quentin Hendrickson on the wing, just hit 2 big shots. Easily could have taken that one. Who knows if he hits it or not, but able to make one more pass to his teammate Stockwell in the corner, who was hot earlier in the game, and he hits it for a huge 4-point play.
Hendrickson again, 2-18. Regneris, one-on-one with Stump. Got it! 64-50. Start the hype train. 2 minutes to go. Korenstra off the mark. They're at the line for Mann. And he got it. 12 now for Tyson Mann. Nick Miller checks in. Good work from Tyson. Needed him at the line. He got them both. 66-53. Matter. The Bulldogs were looking for a statement. They were looking for the top spot in the OK Red. They were looking for 3 in a row. They were looking for 3 in a row at home. They got all of those things. Grandville 66, Grand Haven 53, and the Dogs are the top dogs in the OK Red. This team is for real. Make no doubt about it. Wherever your top 10 area lists are, whatever you may have, put this team in there because they certainly believe it and they show it and they find different ways to win. Desmond Young has this team playing on a different level right now.
10 winners of the Nobel Peace Prize or the last 5 Miss Americas. The point is the applause dies and the achievements are forgotten. But can you name 3 friends who helped you through tough times or teachers who encouraged you in school? We remember those who make a difference in our lives. I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. What matters to us are the personal relationships we have with our clients, helping them build a secure financial future. As a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
Daniel the deer danced everywhere. He pranced through fields and jigged through rivers. Then he saw it. What a stage! A place no deer had dared dance before. The hood of a brand new car.
Hey, my car!
And the car was covered, thanks to Farmers Insurance. Deer Dance Floor, December 1st, 2014. Talk to a farmer's agent. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today, 616-531-3441. A proud supporter of MichiganGameNight.com.
And welcome back. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you here. Game night on Michigan Sports Radio from Vanderslice Gymnasium and Grandville High School. Rival Jenison. Another border war. We had one last Tuesday when Hudsonville came to town. Now Jenison makes the short trip into Grandville. Now we've been talking a lot about the Grandville offense for good reason, Chandler, as they go out for one of their best performances of the year against Grand Haven. A lot of different guys able to contribute in that. But the defense was still elite. It was a fast game. They gave up only 53. Grandville right now giving up just 50.2 points per game on the season to their opponents. I mean, that's where it starts. It's outside of the one game, been their half-court man system that we know so well that they run. But we can talk all we want about the offense. This is a defense that it doesn't matter what the offense does, they're going to keep you in the basketball game. If you score 40, 45 points, you are in the game at worst case.
Yeah, I think what the defense brings to the floor each and every night is truly incredible. I think it's a real luxury for this team when the offense has been playing tremendous, but this team's going to keep themselves in a lot of games just on the defensive end of the floor. I think they did mix it up with the zone the one game, but for the most part it's been that suffocating man-to-man defense, just getting in the face and really bothering every player on the floor that touches the basketball. I think you see elite scorers like Harrison Sorrell on Friday night have a tremendous first half, but then the adjustments by Coach Young and really the intensity on the defensive end, stepping it up to where they're taking some serious scoring threats out of the game and getting them uncomfortable with how intense their defense is.
For Jenison, we talked about their guards, but what about the forward options? Because they are interesting with what Coach Allen has to be able to bring to the table. They definitely don't have the height and the size to be able to match Cam Regnerus, but they do have a grouping of guys that are maybe a little bit stockier, well-built guys that play linebacker, defensive line, and offensive line for the football team. You know, guys that we saw last year play really tough. They're aggressive up front, and they give Cam Regnerus a different matchup. I will say that different matchup is similar to the matchup that Hudsonville tried to bring last week that Cam, of course, worked very well against, but it is a little bit different matchup that isn't necessarily height-on-height like a guy like Nate Stump or Harrison Sorrell going one-on-one with him.
Yeah, I think Jenison's going to have to come up with something to try to neutralize Cam Regnerus the best they can, and as we talked about earlier, not many players going to have the height that to match up one-on-one against Cam, and so they're going to have to try to find something, if that's going to be sending the double team when he touches the ball down in the blocks, or whether they're going to try to really front the post. I mean, there are a couple different things they can try to do because they're going to have, number one, they're going to have their forwards play very physical, try to keep him out of the lane as much as possible, but then also trying to mix up the looks so that the Bulldogs can't prepare for those post touches.
For Grandville, I think keys to the game, the defense has to be the defense. I mean, Jenison struggled to score. If Grandville's defense is just plays the way they normally do, it's not going to be the issue. The offense is what it comes down to. And if the wing scorers can stay where they're going, if Cam Regnerus can be efficient helping feed them, I think this is a game where they can feel pretty confident they've got a chance to roll in pretty easily.
Yeah, I think just trying to keep up the momentum that they've got. Now you've seen it for a couple games, and so it's starting to look like this is a real momentum, real hot shooting team, and guys that are feeling comfortable trying to keep that rolling as you go into this one.
All right, that'll do it for the Bates Agency pregame show. Do not go anywhere. We will be right back here from Vanderslice Gymnasium.
Somebody once said life moves pretty fast, and that's exactly how we like it. Want to build something? Great. Start businesses, build bridges, raise a whole city. Future in fighting crime? Want to save lives? Do it all here. But you've got to go forward fast. Because today is now, and tomorrow is soon. And to get ahead of the game, you got to get ahead of your time. This is your future, so take it and move all of us forward.
To everyone who loves great food, let us make you a meal the Wisconsin way.
We cook each butter burger to order for you and the people you love, so it's the best part of your day.
The best.
The best.
And every creamy scoop of fresh frozen custard, pure happiness.
Pure happiness.
Pure happiness. Because where Culver's comes from.
And the heart of America's Dairyland.
Our love.
Our love for fresh food is as strong as our love for all of you.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Yeah.
All right, welcome back. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timberwood here at Vanderslice Gymnasium. Another OK Red game getting ready to roll on. It's Grandville and Jenison this evening. Wildcats 4-8 on the year, 1-4 right now in the OK Red for head coach Dominic Allen. They will be bringing out their sophomore guard Charlie Norton at 6'2" to get the start alongside the 5'8" junior guard Corbin Bennett. They also have the junior guard and wing Chris Van Slambrook in the backcourt for this one. Up front, they are going to bring the 6'1" senior forward Trevor Martins and the 6'4" junior center Gage Chatfield. Granville, well, you know the starting lineup. You've been tuning in all year long. For head coach Desmond Young, Tyson Mann starts in the backcourt alongside Quentin Hendrickson. Logan Stockwell on the wing. They're all seniors that I've talked about so far. And up front, it's the Bulldog juniors. Cam Regnerus in the middle, Corbin Hackman at the power forward spot. All right, Chandler, ready to go with this one. And again, for Granville, think a fast start. Establishing yourself early, going to be pretty critical to some of what they want to do in this game. In a game that, you know, they're going to be favored, of course, by most to win this game, and you want to avoid Jenison being able to hang around long enough to make something happen. If you're the Bulldogs, the opposite for Jenison.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to be the most interesting early on here is that the Bulldogs, the last 3 games that they've been pulling off some victories, from the outside looking in, they've probably been the underdog, and they've been able to come in, even at home, and get those wins. And now, for the first time in a while, they're the favorite team. They're the one ahead in the standings by a couple games, so they're going to be expected to come out here and handle business, and we'll see how they respond to that in a little different role.
Our introduction to Tyson Mann, Quentin Hendrickson. Again, that duo in the backcourt, they both had, I think I got it slightly wrong, they both had 13 points against Grand Haven. Of course, you know, Tyson kind of the engine a little bit more in the first half. Quentin Hendrickson, a couple of threes down the stretch to help win that game for the Bulldogs, so critical during that huge 14-0 wild run that they went on down the stretch in that game. We'll see what Jenison can bring to the table. Again, Jenison coming off a loss against Hudsonville, lost by 11 to the Eagles in that game. Grandville beat the Eagles by 11 when they played last Tuesday. So for Jenison, it's been a backyard couple of battles in a row. Chatfield will have the jump on Cam Regneris, give about 3-4 inches to Cam on this one. And it's another Tuesday in the OK Red. Underway, border war again for the Bulldogs, and they're able to tip it around and control. Tyson Mann gets the Bulldog offense going, coming off those 13 points he had in the huge win over Grand Haven. Hendrickson found his offensive groove inside and out in that game as well. He'll look to drive on the sophomore Norton. Regneris for Tyson Mann again. Mann into space, left-hand layup good, and a great start for the Bulldog offense, CT.
Yeah, able to get some ball movement early on, and then Tyson Mann catching from the wing area and being able to attack, get to that left hand.
Drive from Van Slambrook, blocked by Regneris, and the run out from the Bulldogs and Hendrickson. Both ends of the floor, Grandville doing exactly what you'd probably expect them to try to do. Stockwell throws it away to Norton. Back the other way quickly, here comes Van Slambrook to the basket, blocked by Tyson Mann, but he steps on the end line. 2 possessions, 2 blocks for the Bulldogs, but Jenison finally will get their first full offensive half-court set right here.
Fantastic effort by Tyson Mann just to get back and give some contest to that shot in transition, and then as he was trying to gather the rebound, just stepped out of bounds, but great job getting back on defense.
Lobbed up top and around here to Norton on the wing. Martins, Van Slambrook. Here's Norton, the freshman. Van Slambrook looked at it. He's got Hendrickson in his face. Bulldogs, of course, in that court-to-court, man-to-man, tough physical defense. Maybe the best physical defense in terms of the man-to-man variety, I think. I mean, in the area, yes, and maybe beyond. They have been that good this year. They forced another miss right there, and Tyson will slow it down a little bit here with the attack for the Bulldogs. Jumped and stolen by a racing Trevor Martins to the basket. Another block for Mann, but a foul called. Tyson got way up above him, but the foul drawn by Martins, and he will go to the line as Jenison looks for their first points of the contest. 6:36 in the first, 2-0 Grandville.
I think that's what Jenison's going to have to do most of the night in order to try to keep pace in this one, try to force some loose balls, get out early and create some turnovers, get out and run with your guards that are able to run the fast break.
Free throw rattles out, no good for Trevor Martins. 6'1" senior, power forward, mostly plays on the wing a little bit as well based on the look that Coach Dominic Allen is trying to run. And he has another look to try to put Jenison on the board for the first time in this game. Got it. Jenison on the board. And they bring a 2-2-1 full court trap right here. Tyson in the middle of it, able to beat it over to Stockwell. Stockwell turns the back, can't get the rattle, the rebound down to Martins. And Slambrook drives, lost the handle with Hendrickson on the defense. Martins swings for Bennett. Then Slambrook looked at the 3. Hendrickson has drawn that defensive matchup on Van Slambrook and has done well so far. Martins tries to force it over. It's poked by Heckman, and Lowe continues to throw it back and forth at the top of the key. Norton, the sophomore, feeds from Martins, drives, met by a pair of Bulldogs and scores, and Jenison has the 3-2 advantage. Martins doing it all right now.
Yeah, Martin's able to get Heckman in the air and allowed him to get along the baseline. Regnier is still looming, but able to get the shot up.
Man crossing, tough defense on him from Bennett. Jenison maybe wanted the over and back call. It's ruled to have been tipped. Driving Heckman to the corner for Stockwell. Up fake and dribble drive. Jumps into the lane. So good off the bounce, Stockwell. The last few games in those sort of dangerous moments, they try to force feed the paint, and Regneris is grabbed and fouled by Chatfield. First foul of the game on Jenison. 5:18 in the first, 3-2 Jenison. Game pretty, I think, kind of just sloppy and tough to find a rhythm, just like you probably would think this one would likely look like. Rowan Stewart will check in for Chatfield right here and give a little bit different look. We've seen both Chatfield and Stewart starting for Jenison throughout this year. Again, it's Regneris on the touch. Tyson Mann. And another foul as he was grabbed onto by Bennett. So Jenison, they'll play zone sometimes, but when they go man, we're already saying this is a handsy, physical defense, just like the Bulldogs zone. A couple of quick fouls.
Yeah, I think both teams getting in the face of each other on the defensive end, making things difficult. You see a lot of batted passes and loose basketballs.
Tyson Mann drives, finds Stockwell coming off the performance of his Bulldog basketball career with 17 against Grand Haven. Hendrickson tries to go across, and an ill-advised pass is jumped and stolen by Martins, and run out by Van Slambrook to the basket. No. Rebound and a nice one by Cam Regneris to rip it out of there. Tyson Mann to set up the Bulldog attack. 4:40 in the first, 3-2 Jenison. Tough grind so far on this one for both teams. Stockwell dumps for Regneris. Extra feed, Tyson Mann on the board. Triple from the corner from Tyson. Great start for Mann. He has all 5 of the Bulldogs offense, and the Dogs lead at 5-3.
Able to get it down to Regneris, who then kicked it out, and I think you can get a lot of offense going that way.
With space, 3 for Bennett's. Falls short, and Grandville's offense will start it up one more time. Reaching the halfway point of the first half. Low scoring, tough one so far. Drive from Hendrickson, blocked by Martins, but Norton, the sophomore, steps on the end line trying to save the ball, and Grandville will keep the possession. 5-3, great start from Tyson Mann. Feels like one of those games he's probably just gonna have to, there it was off the catch, but he may have to do a lot off the dribble, just creating right now in this one. Corner for Hendrickson, back here to Tyson Mann. He's got Bennett's drawn the defensive matchup on him early on. Mann crosses in, tough one, got the rattle. Terrific start for Tyson Mann, he's got all 7.
Yeah, he's been aggressive early on and just taking over there. You know, when they played that tight in the on-ball defense, you need someone who's sure-handed handling the basketball, able to make some moves.
Bennett and Mann, the matchup on each other on both sides of the floor. Stockwell bringing the pressure on Charlie Norton. The freshman dishes around. That is Hunter Dyksterhouse, by the way, 1 in green on the floor for the first time right now. Nice job by Heckman to jump and get the steal. Heckman to run the floor himself, feeds corner. Stockwell, open, 3, got it. Logan Stockwell stays red hot, and the Bulldogs lead by 7.
Very well executed in the 2-man fast break. Heckman able to kick it out for a Stockwell who runs the floor and finds the corner.
Jenison calls timeout, and we are going to be right back.
Cornerstone University.
The professors are very open to helping whenever they can.
Academic excellence, character-driven athletics, Christ-centered community involvement.
Cornerstone has been a great opportunity for me to grow as a leader, just being able to approach people and be warm and welcoming and hospitable.
Experience it for yourself. Attend a Golden Eagle Day at Cornerstone for a taste of campus life and the chance to meet faculty and staff. To arrange a visit for your high school junior or senior, go to cornerstone.edu. Cornerstone University. Build a life that matters.
A sense of purpose, a higher calling. At Dean Transportation, we call it our passion. It's simply who we are. 60 years of pioneering the best health and safety standards because safe student transportation is essential. We are hard-working folks, connecting children to learning, schools to our communities, and you to a better career. Want to make your community a better place? We'll put you in the driver's seat. Join the Dean family today and help to connect our kids to brighter futures.
Welcome back. Wing triple off the mark for Landon Mueller, who's checked in for the first time for Jenison. And the Bulldogs will take it up here and hand off for Tyson Mann, who's got 7 of their 10 early on. Ryder Haight on the floor for the first time. Pull up over top of Norton. Can't get the friendly roll on that one. Martin's the board. Landon Mueller out of the corner. Man, the defense on him. Here's Dyksterhouse. Cut off by Hendrickson. Bulldogs just the 1 substitution early. It's right here. It's Ryder Haight on there. Block shot. Cam Regneris gets his hand in there for another block for arguably your best post defender in West Michigan. Just doing what we've seen all year. Now here's Cam going to get the offensive touch. Nice move and a finish. Both ends of the floor. Cam Regneris, Bulldogs 12, Jenison 3.
Yeah, you see his skill set back-to-back on both ends. Just being a shot blocker, always in the right spot, waiting for the attack and then going up and being able to elevate and block the shot, and then offensively get in good position as well.
Norton, another block for Cam Regneris. It stays, though, down low with Rowan Stewart to the corner. Dyksterhouse. Cut off. Coach Young in there clapping to cheer on his defensive unit that are so tough and so physical. Martins with Stockwell crowding him. Martins on the floor. Stewart, I think Cam got another piece of that one. Stewart again, the putback, and that's a tough, tough finish from Rowan Stewart to make it a 12-5 game.
Yeah, on the offensive rebound, able to get just enough room to make another move on the left side and get one up and above Regnerus.
Feet all the way across, space for Hendrickson, another three. Up and down the lineup, the Bulldogs are red hot still. They lead it by 10.
Yeah, really on the hot shooting continues for the Bulldogs. Multiple players now. This is multiple games in a row that they've had the shooting touch.
Dykstra House, corner with space. Landon Mueller off the mark. Another board for Rowan Stewart. Good work early. Turns and scores on Regnerus again. Really good work from Rowan Stewart to be able to grab boards and put him home right now against this Bulldog interior defense.
I wondered who was going to have to step up to try to control that area a little bit for the Wildcats.
And in the corner, Stockwell steps on the end line and gives up possession. Couple changes for both teams. Van Slambrook back in along with Chatfield for Jenison. Hybor will check in along with Drew Hungerford for the first time in this one for the Bulldogs. 46 seconds to go in the first. It's 15-7 Grandville. Charlie Norton, 6'2 sophomore, has not left the floor yet. He'll run the offense. Swings to Van Slambrook. Norton again, I should say. Hate on him. Feed for Hunter Dykstra House, the senior, crashing into the lane and gets the roll. Good work by Dykstra House off the bounce, and Jenison makes it 15-9.
Dykstra House really had to put himself at a tough angle to get that shot. Somehow able to get it up and over the glass.
Hendrickson and the Regnerus out there setting the screen. They try to get it to Regnerus. Good job by Chatfield to poke and drive with numbers. Norton, no-look feed that Dykstra eventually settles down. Turns into a triple at the horn, no. And we've reached the end of the first. Grandville 15, Jenison 9 after 1. We will be right back.
Bowling is a great time that combines great friends, football, and bowling. Compete against your friends or family, throwing a football at 10 real bowling pins. You can bring in your own food, or they have a pair of 45-foot bars featuring soft drinks and adult beverages. Visit bowlingwarehouse.com, Grand Rapids, to reserve your lanes.
Founded in 1969, J&H Family Stores has grown from a single tank truck to over 50 convenience store locations in West Michigan. Our locations offer a variety of fuel options ranging from Exxon, Mobil, Marathon, and Citgo. At many of our stores, you'll also be pleased to find a Tim Hortons or Subway. Find the location near you by visiting myjhfamilystores.com. There's one in your neighborhood.
All right, welcome back. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you here from Grandville. And CT, a little bit of a slow one in some regards to start, but the Grandville offense, throughout some of the sloppiness, able to find just enough for a good all-around first quarter, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely for the Bulldogs. Probably a few more turnovers than what Coach Young was looking to have in the first quarter, but still hitting a high percentage from the field and from beyond the arc as well. It's going to help make that scoring look a little bit better.
All right, Jenison gets it out of the break. Grandville 15, Jenison 9 after the first. Norton, again, the sophomore, to run the offense. Here's Van Slambrook in the wing. Quentin Hendrickson draws the defensive matchup there. Norton again, high bore, sophomore on sophomore, top of the key. And Slambrook fouled by Hungerford. He'll go to the line for two. Both these defenses so physical, so handsy, however you may kind of want to see the way that they go at it. It's very similar to how they're trying to attack the defensive half court.
Slambrook able to go and hesitate. Once he got into the left elbow or the right elbow area, able to hesitate just enough, got the defenders to try to collapse in around him. Hungerford trying to set up and get those hands up and end up getting him with the lower body.
Bennett comes in here for Jenison. 15-10 game. One more at the line. Van Slambrook unable to rattle that home with the board down to Chatfield. Turns, and now Gage Chatfield will go to the line for two more of his own. Again, it's a little bit of this style. You saw it at Stewart, see out of Chatfield, a little bit bigger guys, not taller, but big physical guys. I think Chatfield comes in at about 245 pounds, of course. Plays linebacker, defensive line for Coach Zeitman in the fall, so a really tough guy to have to contend with. he is able to hit the first, engage Chatfield, gets on the score sheet, and brings it within 4. Kind of crazy that Jenison's kept it as close as they have. Feels like the Bulldogs kind of winning by more early, but that's a little bit of what Jenison does too, I think. Got them both. Work by the 6'4 Chatfield, and again, Coach Allen brings out this 2-2-1 trap, trying to speed up the Bulldogs, reaching inside, nearly stolen, but Hybor able to get over the timeline to Hungerford. Hybor stutters, feeds, Heckman finishes. Good work in a pretty well-shown press break right there to beat it and find the big man roaming down low.
And Hybor able to get to the free throw line, just enough of a shot fake to get the defender to go up, and nice slip pass down to Heckman.
And Slambrook spins into the lane. Norton on the wing. Martins, then Slambrook again. Drives on Hendrickson and scores. Nice work in the lane right there by Chris Van Slambrook. He has 3. It's 17-14, one possession game.
And you can see with Rigneris on the bench, the Wildcats now a little more willing to attack that lane area, knowing that they've got a little bit of a size advantage.
Poked and stolen by the racing Corbin Bennett. He'll take it to the basket. The reverse layup will not go. Chatfield rips the rebound straight away. A high arcing shot will not fall on that right-handed putback. And Hybor is able to get it out of there. 6.5 in the first half, 17-14. And kind of a sleepy start despite some offense to this one. Hybor. Tough pull-up. Got it. Nice shot from the sophomore. And if he's got that in his bag of tricks, I'd say go back to that a little bit more often.
Yeah, that looked like he was pretty comfortable doing that, able to quickly get there and pull up, elevate, and hit.
Tyson Mann up from the Bulldog bench. He'll be coming in momentarily. Corbin Bennett's poked away and rolling on the ground, stolen by Ryder Haight. Hungerford on the break. Can't get the roll. Hybor will go to the line. Good work from Colin Hybor. Sophomore has come in. Hasn't seen quite as many minutes in some of the tough games. We've seen that rotation shortened and tightened from Coach Young, but a couple nice offensive plays. First, the pull-up Jay in there. The touch that just won't go, but he will go to the line out of it, and we'll be able to bring Tyson Mann on the floor out of the break.
Yeah, you got to love the energy off the bench from both Hybor and Ryder Haight. On the floor, diving for the loose basketball. Able to get it in transition, get it up ahead to his teammates. Nice finish by Hybor to get to the line.
Mann and Stewart in for their respective squads. Hybor has one more coming. 2014, Bulldogs by 6, just under 6 to go in the first half. And the sophomore got them both. 4 now for Hybor in this one. 21-14. Bulldogs by a touchdown and an extra point. Martin's fresh back on the floor. Hits the cutting Rowan Stewart, who's able to score nicely. 6 points now for Stewart on the nice cut and the nice feed from his fellow big man. Tyson Mann drives with a 5-point lead. Here's Hungerford. Enters the lane. Good work. Drew Hungerford able to score off the window. His first points in a couple games. Grandville goes up 23-16, and Jenison quickly back the other way. Spinning Van Slambrook, foul on Tyson Mann, and they will call the shooting foul, and it will send Van Slambrook back to the line. 5:13 in the first half. Foul 2 on Tyson Mann. Hendrickson immediately back up along with Cam Ragnaris, so Tyson is going to have to take a seat right back away. Lefty Van Slambrook able to rattle home the first. He's got 4. Summers also checks in as the Bulldogs make a little bit of a mass substitution. Same can be said for Jenison as they've been running players on and off the floor as well. Part of what you'd expect, even a slower game, in a game that's this physical. So Van Slambrook to 5 points on the game, able to hit them both. A little bit different looking Bulldog unit than one we've seen the last couple games, as the trap is on right now against Summers. Now Hungerford able to throw it over the timeline to a reaching Quentin Hendrickson. 5 to go in the second quarter, 23-18. Give to Ragnarson, a foul from Stewart. Just a game, Chandler, and that's the team's 5th foul on Jenison. it's been tough for either team. It feels like even though the scoring is kind of there, to get into much of a rhythm, just a sloppy, different feeling game than some of the last ones. I suppose that's exactly where Jenison probably wants it.
Yeah, I think that's exactly by design. The Wildcats are going to be happy if the game pace stays where it's been at. They've been able to play and keep it pretty sloppy and keep themselves in it right within striking distance.
Stockwell fresh on the floor, lobs for Highbor, so both the Bulldogs' wings are out there. Stockwell off those 17 points on Friday, hit a triple early. Regnerus to back and work. Stewart nearly stole it. Stockwell. Hendrickson gets that screen set from Cam Regnerus. Trapped nearly out of bounds. Good job to get it away from there to Stockwell and back. Regnerus the post touch. Turns on Stewart. The double comes again, and Martins knocks it away. They've been quick to that. Hendrickson reaches. Secured into the corner to Dijksterhouse. Norton. Trevor Martins again. Hit a nice cutting feed to Stewart a possession or two ago. Bennett's out of the corner. Feeds Stewart. No good over top of Regnerus, and the rebound is eventually secured by Highborg. But we've seen it possession after possession. The touch comes immediately. There's a double for Regnerus. Driving, tough one. Stockwell, no. Regnerus able to reach and score over top of the defender. Cam has 4. And the Bulldogs lead at 25-18.
I like to see Regnerus there on the weak side able to get that rebound, but nice move from Stockwell just to get in the lane.
Whew, tough pull-up. Charlie Norton, the sophomore, gets on the board. That was a high-arcing shot. That is simply just a shot creator making something happen right there over top of a taller defender. Hendrickson, corner for Nate Summers. Summers up top for Highborer. Here's the sophomore again. Hits the cutting Summers to the basket. He'll go to the line. Again, good vision right there from Highborg. Like the work from the sophomore since he's come on in this second quarter. Couple of scores. He's got 4 points and a nice feed right there to the cutter. Grandville by 5 with 3.5 to go in the second.
Yeah, Highborg letting that play develop as Summers cutting from the left wing. So he's able to get into the middle of the lane and curl that way. And a nice feed.
Summers unable at the first. Then Slambrook and Chatfield come in. As we see Stewart take a seat. And pretty constant rotation for this Jenison side. Summers able to hit the second at the line and get himself on the score sheet. The Bulldogs lead it by 6. Dijksterhouse from Martins. Here's Norton again. Dijksterhouse. Sorry, and Slambrook. Martins. Then Slambrook thought about the 3 over top of Summers. And a block is the call on Summers. It went down hard right there as there's a little bit of an extended arm. At the same time, he was still shuffling, though, and the block gets called. There's now 5 fouls on either team and 1 on Nate Summers. 3:04 in the second. Bulldogs by 6. Then Slambrook spins on Summers and scores. Got the friendly roll over top of him. 7 for Chris Van Slambrook. Good ability from him so far in this one to score, and it's down to a 4-point game again. Bulldogs just aren't able to stretch it. Driving, Hendrickson leaning, goes to the line.
Hendrickson being aggressive off the dribble. I think now that Tyson Mann, those 2 fouls on the bench, looking for Hendrickson to step up as a ball handler, running the offense a little bit more right away, getting into it, able to make a nice move, going to the Euro step, getting into the lane.
Bulldogs shooting free throws the rest of the way in this half now. 16 fouls on Jenison as Hendrickson cannot hit the first. That's foul 1 on Vince Slambrook. Highboard takes a seat and Heckman comes in, so the Bulldogs a little bit more of their traditional 5 and 4 out right now with Regnerus and Heckman, and then a couple guards and a wing around it. Hendrickson able to go 1 of 2 at the line. He has 4. And the Bulldogs lead by 5. Here's the sophomore Charlie Norton. Skips for Martins. Turns the back on Heckman on the drive. Leaning and 1. Tough finish from Trevor Martins through the Heckman contact. He can make it a 3-point play the old-fashioned way at the line. He already has 5. Good work by the senior. Seen him hit a couple of cutters with good passing and tough physical finishing despite being undersized in most of the matchups he's drawn on the interior.
Yeah, the pivot in the lane despite having Heckman right up against his body, able to draw him in close and then get the shot off the tough bounce.
More foul trouble for the Bulldogs as Heckman will take a seat. Hybor comes in again. Coach Young, one that normally will sit guys for the rest of the first half, or at least most of it. The second they pick up that second foul, so both Mann and Heckman dealing with that right now. Martins completes the three-point play. He's got 6 in the game, and the pressure comes back out one more time here for the Wildcats. Hybor for Summers. Over the timeline to Stockwell. Down to Regneris, corner, Stockwell, 3. Cannot rattle that one home. And the board back the other way with Norton after Bennett's grabbed it off the glass. Here's Corbin Bennett's. Martins from Mueller, swung around. Drive from Bennett's corner. Landon Mueller had a look, decides otherwise. Norton tries a deep one over top of Stockwell, no. Martins secures the board. Bennett's with under 2 minutes in the first half. Grandville by 2 and a walk on Charlie Norton. He got a little bit ahead of himself right there on the jab, and the Bulldogs take possession.
Stockwell able to get up in his face in the wing area, make that a difficult jab as he was trying to put the ball on the floor.
So Heckman in the 2 fouls comes back in here for the final minute 51. So Coach Young kind of wants that matchup with Heckman in there. I wonder if he'll almost go a little bit defense for offense when he can too slightly. Hendrickson down low to Cam Regneris. Here comes the double. Swung to space. Nice job by Stockwell. Heckman, a whole bunch of space. Cannot hit strong. Stockwell the board through a pair of defenders. Through contact, can't get the shot, can't get the foul, but the Bulldogs keep it with Hendrickson. Heckman trapped, stolen by Norton. Bringing the double on everyone down low as they go no middle, all the way down the floor. Streaking Bennett's able to stop, pop, score. We're tied at 27 with a minute 10.
Bulldogs had a couple chances, got some close offensive rebounds right underneath the basket, unable to make anything out of it. The Wildcats right away, lollipop pass down the floor.
Regneris, good, tough work in the lane. He's got 6, and the Bulldogs go back on top. They really needed that one out of Cam.
Yeah, really haven't been able to get Regneris involved in the post as much as they would have liked. I think trying to get him involved and force him some touches a little bit more maybe in the second half.
Yeah, I think Jenison is showing a little bit of a path right now, the way that they've doubled him. And a timeout from Coach Dominic Allen will stay with you here through this timeout. But I think they've shown a little bit of kind of some of the trends of ways that teams may look to try to slow down Cam Regneris on the inside with the doubles, with some of the aggressive interior no-middle defensive looks. The Grand Rapids Sports Hall of Fame celebrates the city's rich sports history by honoring prominent West Michigan athletes and those who have contributed greatly to sports on a local, state, or national level. The GRS HOF also presents annual events in support of West Michigan athletics and raises funds to support local youth organizations and charities. Follow the Grand Rapids Sports Hall of Fame on Facebook and check out pictures and biographies of all 181 inductees at grshof.com. All right, 38.1 on the clock. Bulldogs all out and ready to go. Coach Dominic Allen get the final word in with the Wildcats. They trail by just 2. You know, a game like we said, Grandville the favorite for obvious reasons. They're atop the OK Red right now, I think it's fair to say. But a game that I think I was expecting them to have a little bit of trouble at least early with, just because I've seen Jenison play this year. This is what they do. They just kind of find a way to stick around. They did it to Rockford in the first half. They have an element of this to their game. Norton's very slowly over the timeline. Can't even see him on your screen yet, and he's able to just get his way over, and Summers picks up the defense on him. Norton with 21 bouncing. Looks like they are holding for the final shot, down just a score. And Coach Allen probably pretty happy to take it into the locker room kind of as it is right now. Norton, corner, space. Bennett's 3. Got it. Jenison leads. Three seconds. Corner, Stockwell. Nice move. Got the defender going. Oh, he can't rattle it home. That is an unfriendly touch. But it's Jenison. The 30-29 lead at the half. The Wildcats just kind of hang around, sneak around, stay in there. And they have the halftime advantage in this one as both teams find their way back to the locker room. We welcome you into the Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency pregame it's the Centennial Securities halftime show. I went through everything it could have been except for what it is. And you know what? That's the kind of night it is right now. Everything. It's an obvious letdown game moment, by the way. You're in between Rockford coming off the Grand Haven win if you're the Bulldogs, and the energy's a little bit different in here tonight. Jenison plays a different style. It's more grinding. It's just sloppy. It just is a night where I think Coach Young's going to go back in the locker room, and it's a little bit of a, what are we doing, guys? I think type of moment that he might have. I'm like, you're down just a point. We still can win this thing. It's obviously, we didn't let it completely get away from us, but just nothing. The Bulldogs hit a couple shots early, but just nothing that they normally would like to see and what they have seen recently.
Yeah, just never able to really get on a serious run early on in the first quarter. Got a couple buckets in a row, but never able to get on a run like we've seen them be able to do. I think credit Jenison for the style that they've been able to keep this game at.
Yeah,
they
sure.
just keep it extremely sloppy, keep themselves in it, and then go on a little run of their own right at the end of the first half.
Yeah, just a tough first half, and I'm really interested to see what the Bulldogs come up with. You can see Coach Young, by the way, as he's kind of been mostly just really happy the last few teams, the way that his teams play. But I think just a little bit of, I don't want to use the word annoyance, but it just, that's what Jenison does. Mm-hmm. They are very, very good at, even when they aren't winning games, they keep it closer than you expect, especially in the first half. They've done this. I know they did it to Rockford even in the loss. They were close against Hudsonville at the half. Like, you had to expect this a little bit for the Bulldogs, but now you have to be careful in the second half because you put this together for another quarter like you did, especially in the second quarter, then you find yourself down by a few scores, and now you're pressing.
Yeah, I think it has been a unique kind of role reversal from what we've seen from the previous games where the Bulldogs were the underdog and they were the one trying to frustrate some higher flying scoring offenses, and they were the one being annoying on the defensive end and forcing the other team to be uncomfortable, and now they find themselves on the other end of that where Jenison's kind of using a little bit of their own medicine against them and doing so with success here. We've seen the Bulldogs go a little bit deeper in the rotation than what we've seen. We'll see if Coach Young sticks with that throughout the course of the game, as of course we're still a one-point game, or if things get tightened up a little bit in the second half.
And credit where it's due. We've been talking about Jenison's defense. Their offense, I mean, they score 30. Grandville, of course, only gives up 50 a game. And even Grandville, they score 53 a game. They score 29 in the first half. So, I mean, it's a higher scoring game despite that sloppiness than what you may normally see. So the scoreboard doesn't match the game that we saw so far. And I'm going to be interested to see what the second half has to bring. A lot more to get to here on the Centennial Securities Halftime Show. Jenison leads a close one at the half here at Grandville. We will be right back.
Jerry opened the letter. An eviction notice? He and his family couldn't bear to move again. It was warm and they had plenty of space for their acorns. Anxiety took a hold of him. Then suddenly,
you've got squirrels in your engine and they chew through the wiring.
And it was covered, thanks to a farmer's agent. Engine Bay Squatters, May 23rd, 2015. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today at 616-531-3441. Your local farmer's agent who helps you plan for the unexpected.
I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. I've heard it said that professional coaches measure success in rings, college coaches measure success in championships, and high school coaches measure it in titles. But youth coaches measure success in smiles. At Centennial Securities, we're like the youth coach. Our success is measured by the smiles on the faces of our satisfied clients. If you're a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
Michigan Sports Academies offers quality youth sports in Grand Rapids, Holland, and Muskegon. With a wide variety of programming, MSA has something for new athletes who are just starting out to experienced athletes looking to take their game to the next level. Year-round programming is offered in basketball, lacrosse, soccer, and volleyball. Your athlete will love the quality of instruction from experienced coaches in state-of-the-art facilities conveniently located in Grand Rapids and along the lakeshore. Check us out at MichiganSportsAcademies.com.
Don't just find yourself, make yourself. Start businesses, build bridges, save lives, raise a whole city. This is your future, so take it and move all of us forward.
All right, and welcome back here to the Centennial Securities Halftime Show. Nate and Chandler back with you. CT, run us through our scoring recap from the first half. Jenison leads by a point, 30-29, as they're trying to pull the upset on the road here tonight.
All right, for the Wildcats, Vince Lambrook with 7, Stewart 6, Martins 6, Bennett's with 5, 2 for Chatfield, 2 for Norton, and 2 for Dyksterhouse. On the side of the Bulldogs, 7 points for Tyson Mann, 6 for Cam Rigneris, 4 for Hendrickson as well as Hybor, 3 for Stockwell, and then 2 for both Hungerford and Heckman. Summers with a point as well.
So I think the key thing I first want to get to in this first half, Chandler, when you look at the Bulldogs, I mean, we can call them offensive struggles. They're scoring more than their normal scoring efficiency. So I guess you almost have to look at the other end of the floor, probably, but I want to talk about the offensive side first. Jenison's done a really good job in terms of doubling the post and taking Cam Regnerus and his normal offensive rhythm out of the game.
Yeah, I think Cam Regnerus has had a couple times where he's been able to score the basketball, but it's not been in the type of situation where the Bulldogs have been getting him the basketball, and it's a natural post touch for him where he's able to go to work down there. I think he's got a couple points off some offensive rebounds where he's getting positioning, but I think the Wildcats doing a good job of playing very physical with him. They've got some bigger forwards, some bigger bodies down there that are pushing him off the blocks as much as they possibly can. You'll see a couple foul calls early in the game, and I think they're doing a pretty good job of playing that line of making sure they're pushing him out from that danger area.
Yeah, and I guess you look on the whole, again, it's 30-29 at the half, so it's higher scoring than normal. What is it that Jenison did well offensively? Because I come away, it doesn't necessarily feel like they scored 30 points, and they scored more than you normally see the Bulldogs score. I guess they got to the line. They were somewhat opportunistic with threes. They're able to slash and score every once in a while. Like, it just kind of a quiet 30 points that Jenison was able to somehow effectively put up there, and that might be where some of the concern is for the Bulldogs, because you don't know how you gave up 30 probably.
Yeah, no, it really is kind of amazing when there's really not one area that they dominated the Bulldogs in when you think of what they were doing offensively, but just kept themselves in it. They hit some tough contested shots when they needed to. They've got some guys that can create their own shot and hit some tough looks that were able to do so. They've been able to force enough turnovers and get out and make that into some quick points on the offensive end for them when they've had the chance. They've got when they've got numbers going their way, they've been able to capitalize on it. And I think they just kind of been able to manufacture their way to 30 points.
Both teams out and continuing their warm-ups. We're going to step aside when we come back. Time for some more basketball. Thanks for tuning in to the Centennial Securities Halftime Show. Jenison by 1 at the half. We will be right back.
Can you name the 10 winners of the Nobel Peace Prize or the last 5 Miss Americas? The point is the applause dies and the achievements are forgotten. But can you name 3 friends who helped you through tough times or teachers who encouraged you in school? We remember those who make a difference in our lives. I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. What matters to us are the personal relationships we have with our clients, helping them build a secure financial future. As a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
Daniel the deer danced everywhere. He pranced through fields and jigged through rivers. Then he saw it. What a stage! A place no deer had dared dance before. The hood of a brand new car. And the car was covered, thanks to Farmers Insurance. Deer Dance Floor, December 1st, 2014. Talk to a farmer's agent. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today, 616-531-3441. A proud supporter of MichiganGameNight.com.
Need to replace that worn-out carpet or floor? Floor Coverings International makes it easy. They bring their mobile showroom to you. Save yourself the trip and gas shopping around. See a wide selection of carpet, hardwood, laminate, and vinyl in the lighting of your own home. Go to floorcoveringsinternational.com today for your free consultation. Work with one team for a hassle-free experience from the quote to installation. And each Floor Coverings International business is independently owned and operated, so they are local business owners in our community. Floor Coverings International, the flooring store at your door.
Are you looking for a new career? Aetna Supply is hiring. Aetna Supply is Michigan's #1 plumber wholesaler, servicing local customers for over 50 years. They offer great benefits, a 401k with company match, quarterly bonuses, and no Sundays. Once again, check them out at aetnasupply.com/careers or click on their logo on the Michigan Sports Radio homepage.
All right, and welcome back here to Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. We are ready to rock and roll. Second half, Jenison by 1 at the break. And the Bulldogs will get the ball coming out of halftime. And they go to their lucky hoop for the start of this second half that they were so effective shooting into on Friday night. And we'll see if they will be able to mimic some of that right here. Tyson Mann starts the offense, defended by Corbin Bennett. Bulldogs down 1 at the half. A little bit of a surprise right there, poked out of bounds by Chatfield. By the way, I know Grandville fans, of course, you may be tuning in also on Michigan Sports Radio. With Rockford coming up on Friday, 2-point lead, 26-24 over Caledonia at the half for the Rams in that one. Hendrickson across to Heckman. Now Stockwell again, just 3 for Stockwell in the first half, coming off 17 last time out. Of course, he did a lot of good work in the early portion of that game, but also got some good buckets late. Here's Hendrickson for Regnerus. They've got Heckman working down low, and Trevor Martin's able to poke and steal and go back the other way, but he puts it off his foot and is able to somehow regather for Bennett. Nearly turned over the turnover right there. Martins, he's been very good in this game, both kind of running the break as a 4. He's been scoring. Van Slambrook leads Jenison in scoring with 7 at the half. He finds the sophomore Norton. First minute just about gone in the second half. No scoring so far in the half. Norton tries the 3. Off the mark in the board from a high-reaching Stockwell. A possession that kind of tried to lull the Bulldogs to sleep, and they settle for the deep triple.
Yeah, a couple very long possessions. Both teams on their first look down the offensive end.
Man grabbing on along with Bennett. Finds Regnerus, does Hendrickson, and Cam Regnerus will go to the line for one more. You said at the half, as Cam has 8 now, the Bulldogs probably have to look to try to force feed him a little bit. They do it right there. They don't care about the double team. They don't care about the pressure. They go to their big man who's able to get himself to the line. The foul is on Martins. It is his first.
Yeah, if you can time it up right, you can, and with a quick pass, you can beat the double team in there. It's not going to be easy all the time, but I think you still have the size with Regnerus down there. You can try it from time to time.
Unable to complete the 3-point play. Hackman pokes it along. It's touched out by Martins, and the Bulldogs keep the possession. Good effort play. That's how I think the Bulldogs have to look to kind of try to change the momentum a little bit in this game, or with some of those type of effort plays that they were getting a lot of against Grand Haven. Here's Tyson Mann. Regnerus in the corner. Man again. He'll try a deep one from the volleyball line, and is off the mark. Van Slambrook the rebound. 6:20 and less, already almost 2 minutes gone in this half. The Bulldogs have gone back up 31-30. Offensive foul pushing off on Chris Van Slambrook, and it goes the other way. 2 fouls now in the half on Jenison. Stewart comes in for Chatfield. Actually, a foul is going to be off the ball. It is on Chatfield, who takes a seat. My bad.
Yeah, Chatfield setting the screen there. I think moving screen is what they called, as he was looking to roll down to the basket and ended up impeding the path of Stockwell, who was playing some defense.
Regnerus out of the double. Heckman up fake and drive across. Hendrickson with a bit of space over top of Norton. He got it. Hendrickson with 7. He continues his offensive hot streak, and the Bulldogs go up 4. Good start for them in this second half.
Even though Regnerus doesn't really touch the ball for that long, just a quick entry pass for 1 second. The double team comes, he kicks it back out, really gets the whole rest of the offense moving.
Jenison turns it over, and Coach Allen wants a timeout. 5:39 in the third, Grandville 34, Jenison 30. We will be right back.
Looking for a great place to buy a used truck or car? Check out Extreme Truck and Auto Center, located at 1098 O'Malley Drive in Coopersville. They have a huge selection of trucks, cars, vans, and SUVs. Stop by their lot or give them a call at 616-384-3777. You can check out their inventory at xtacenter.com.
All right, welcome back. Nate Chandler with you here from Grandville. Breaking it out of the Wildcat timeout. Jenison just turned the ball over, so Grandville gets it out of the dead ball right here with 5:39 in the third frame. 5-0 run to start the half for the Bulldogs right now, so they've at least found a little bit of the groove, Chandler.
Yeah, nice little swing of momentum coming out of the half. Able to get things flowing back your direction now. You control the pace a little bit more again.
There's Corbin Heckman feeding the cutting Regneris, spinning to the basket, can't get the roll, and it goes Jenison's way as Regneris went tearing down the lane but unable to get the finish off the spin. Looks like Trevor Martin's going to have to find his way off the floor momentarily. He may have some blood or something that I think the official just picked up on. So Mueller comes in.
Maybe a little bit of blood on the chin. I thought maybe they were going to get Regneris for a travel as he was spinning through the lane. Part of that might just be the long strides, but he might have got away with an extra step regardless. Shot didn't go in.
They don't call travels anymore in basketball, Chandler. Stolen by Quinn Hendrickson, and it'll go back the other way here with the Bulldogs out of the pressure. 5:13 in the third quarter, 34-30. Lob for Heckman. Faces up on Mueller, can't get the finish, and Van Slambrook the rebound. Grandville kind of forcing it still a little bit offensively all game long. Nice job by Tyson Mann to poke, steal, take it to the rack, and finish. Mann does it all himself. He has 9, and the Bulldogs go up 36-30.
Overlooked a little bit, but at the end of the first half, Tyson Mann in some foul trouble is when the Bulldogs were struggling. He's back out there now and just able to create a basket on his own.
Norton feeds Rowan Stewart. Back to Norton, the sophomore. Had some difficulty settling it down in the corner. And Van Slambrook will take the ball. Van Slambrook, tough leaner, can't get the roll. Rebound, Cam Regneris. Tough shot right there from Van Slambrook trying to attack the teeth of the Bulldog defense. And Grandville hangs down to that 6-point lead with 4:20 in the third. Quinn Hendrickson hits Heckman out of the double. Hendrickson. Cam Regneris on the perimeter. Bit of a mismatch. Here's Heckman turning and unable to score over top of Mueller. Good tough board from Rowan Stewart. 3:56 in the third, past the halfway point of the quarter, and Grandville still on a 5-0 run, or a 7-0 run now in this quarter. Stewart at the block. They'll go one-on-one with Regneris. Kick to the corner. 3, good. Rattling on home for Corbin Bennett. He has 8 in Jenison on the board for the first time in the second half. They're down 3.
Been difficult offensively for the Wildcats through the first 4 minutes of the second half, but able to get a kick out and an open 3.
Poked and stolen nicely by the sophomore Norton and flung the other way. Driving Van Slambrook, fouled and won. A chance to tie it at the line. Slow developing play right there. Van Slambrook and getting to double digits at the line. I wondered at first if they were going to call that on the floor or on the shot. It's called on the shot, and Van Slambrook can tie the game on the first foul on Hendrickson. Heckman will take a seat here for the Dogs as Highboard comes in. So Van Slambrook looking to tie. Unable to do so, and the rebound of Stockwell. Quick little run back right there from the Wildcats after the Bulldogs had all the momentum to start the third quarter. Tyson Mann, Hendrickson. Stockwell nearly stolen by Van Slambrook. Such an active defensive team with space. Mann got it. 12 for Tyson Mann, and the Bulldogs up 4. I mean, Jenison's trapping everything. If you get a pass out of there, someone's going to be open.
Yeah, after they got away and the Wildcats were scrambling defensively, and then it just had to find the open man, and Tyson the one there.
Passed out of the reach of Martins, chased down just in front of the timeline by Chris Van Slambrook. Stewart at the block on Regneris. Good move, good finish. 8 for Rowan Stewart. That's a really nice move on Cam Regneris. Not many pull off those type of moves on the Bulldog big man.
Yeah, you got to get creative down there when you got Regneris matched up against you, but able to do so.
Mann to high board, dumps it to Cam Regneris. You can see that double come. Mann tries another deep one, got it. 15 for Tyson Mann. Bulldogs by 5. Tyson kind of doing it all. You said it. When he was off the floor, that's when they struggled. He is the Bulldogs' top creator today.
It just seems like maybe one of those nights where you need Tyson Mann, a player like that, just to lead you. If your offense is struggling, just let him take over.
Nice poke and a steal, and Mann to take it. Feeds Regneris, spins and scores. Laying it in with a right. Regneris in the double digits, and the Bulldogs just like that back up 44-37.
Incredibly tight window for Tyson Mann to try to feed that pass in, but somehow got it into the gut of Cam Regneris in the lane.
Then Slambrook to the basket, fouled. he will go to the line as Cam Regneris gets the foul called on him on the block attempt. That will be foul number 2 of the half on the Bulldogs. And that is foul 1 on Cam Regneris. 93 seconds in the third. Then Slambrook to the line. He's got 9. He is the leading scorer for Jenison. He has 10. He is the leading scorer for Jenison.
And after having really very few runs in the first half, now multiple as we go back and forth, each team taking turns, having some scoring chances.
Haight, Mueller, and Martins all into the game. It's Stockwell back to the Bulldog bench for the first time in the half. Whistle down at the scores table. Now they're looking to potentially get Dyksterhouse in here as well, and I think they have to correct the scorebook. I mean, Jenison makes 2 to 3 substitutions at a time every time down the floor, it seems like, so I could see how there may potentially be an issue. It may also be with the scoreboard. They need to make sure they get Regneris' foul in there because they actually never got that foul on the scoreboard. As you can see, that should have been the second team foul and the first on Regneris. Free throw will not go. And it will go back the other way. Tyson Mann. There's a 1-1. Mann for Haight. With space. Can't get it. Rebound down to Chatfield. And now Norton. So out of that confusion, he'll be taken back the other way by the Wildcats. And Slambrook in the corner. I got lulled to sleep there. Of course, it wasn't a 1-and-1, by the way. I know exactly what was happening. I spent the whole possession trying to double-check it. Vince Slambrook, mid-range on to Chatfield. Chatfield scores and 1. 4 for Chatfield. He'll go to the line. Back within 44-40. Foul on Regneris. His second, team's third. Now it's updated. There's about to be an outcry from the Jenison side of the stands, I think, based on the scoreboard. And Mueller will check back in here for Norton with 49.1 in the third. 44-40. Just a weird game. Weird vibe, weird style. It's definitely unlike what we've seen the last couple weeks.
It is, yeah. Used to a lot of energy in a lot of these games. And this one, Jenison just doing a great job of keeping themselves in it, kind of keeping the Bulldogs in not a great spot.
Chatfield able to complete the three-point play. Pressure comes on. Stolen by the reach of Bennett, and Mann takes it right back away. Tyson with numbers. Lobs. Regneris can't get the jam. And quickly back the other way. Here goes Bennett. He lost it. Highbore the steal. Outlet it on to Regneris, and he's fouled on the grab on the floor. 32.1 in the third. 44-41. I'm not going to lie, I'm surprised they're able to get that lob as close as they did. The way that the numbers are running, I did not think they were going to get the pass and the lob off. They were able to, though. Cam just couldn't quite get the finish through a little bit of the space and contact.
Yeah, it looked like the pass was going to be extremely high, but Regneris able to go up and got his hands on it.
Hendrickson with 30 in the quarter for Highbore. Handoff for Mann. Bennett stayed with him. Mann tries to lob, stolen by Bennett as he's able to poke the hand in there. Mueller stops for Bennett again with 13. Jenison down 3 will hold for the final shot. Mann takes the defense on Corbin Bennett. Around the screen, Bennett spins, shoots on Regneris, misses it all. Rebound to Haight. That's the end of the third. Grandville takes the lead after 3. 44-41. They look to survive it and stay in the top spot in the OK Red in the fourth quarter. Do not go anywhere.
Jerry opened the letter. An eviction notice? He and his family couldn't bear to move again. It was warm and they had plenty of space for their acorns. Anxiety took a hold of him. Then suddenly...
You've got squirrels in your engine and they chew through the wiring.
And it was covered thanks to a farmer's agent. Engine Bay Squatters, May 23rd, 2015. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today at 616-531-3441. Your local farmer's agent who helps you plan for the unexpected.
I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. I've heard it said that professional coaches measure success in rings, college coaches measure success in championships, and high school coaches measure it in titles. But youth coaches measure success in smiles. At Centennial Securities, we're like the youth coach. Our success is measured by the smiles on the faces of our satisfied clients. If you're a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
All right, welcome back to Grandville. Nate and Chandler with you out of the break. Final 8 minutes, 44-41. Jenison looking to get OK Red win number 2 and pull off the upset here this evening. And the Wildcats get the ball down a score to start the final frame right here. Drive from Bennett, cut off by Mann. And here's Norton, the sophomore guard. Norton swings for Bennett. Bennett's lobbing for Chatfield. The post was fronted. Corbin Heckman getting the hand in there. A block and a foul on Jenison on the reach on the run back up the floor. That's 4 team fouls now on the Wildcats, and that's foul 3 on Gage Chatfield, who will take a seat right here. Stewart will come in. And again, the Wildcats will bring some full court pressure with 7:39 in the fourth. Here's Heckman. Worked around to Highbore, now Hendrickson. Mann, stolen by Mueller on the reach. Bulldogs a little sloppy against the press. Jump past Dijksterhouse, out of bounds. Grandville takes it. I assume Jenison sets up the press, though, again, because the Bulldogs have shown a little bit of continuous issues against this 2-2-1 press, which is a little different than the 1-2-2 that a lot of teams run. Here's Heckman. Hendrickson, Highbore. This really slows down a team's attack. Good jump pass over the timeline to Tyson Mann. Mann for Regnerus. Highbore, the sophomore with space. He got it. 7 for Highbore, and the Bulldogs by 6.
Ever since the Bulldogs beat the pressure, the Bulldogs had numbers as the Wildcats chasing them around, and Highbore just one of those guys that you can see the ball looks different coming off his hand. He's a pure shooter.
Corner 3 for Norton, trying to answer with a fellow sophomore 3. The board goes through the hands of Highbore, and Dijksterhouse able to finish for his second bucket of the game in close. Mann beating the pressure quickly to Heckman. Turns to the basket, can't get the rattle. Rebound to Stewart. 47-43. Here's Norton with 6.5. Norton, Stewart, mid-range. Falls short. The Bulldogs, one more time, will have it here with Tyson Mann, 6:24 in the fourth. I mean, the pressure of Jenison, one thing it does is with the way they trap and the way the possession goes on is they kind of force you to take that shot quicker, and Grandville won't be able to kill the ball. Regnerus forces one there. He's off the mark, and Jenison's got it back again down 4 to the final 6 minutes. Mueller, nice feed. Stewart got the finish. 10 for Rowan Stewart. Jenison within 2. Tyson Mann spins, cut off by Bennett. Here's Heckman in the short corner. Space 3, Hendrickson off the mark. Norton the board, another miss for the Bulldogs offense that's gone cold here to start the final frame. Drive from Corbin Bennett. Offensive foul bumped into Tyson Mann. Good job by Mann to take it. And Jenison gives up the basketball with their 15 foul and foul number 2 on Bennett. Stockwell comes in for Heckman, so the Bulldogs right now go 2 wings, 2 guards, and the big man, Cam Regnerus, in the middle of the offense. And Coach Allen, I believe, wants a timeout. He will get the timeout, and both teams go back to their respective sides. Scott Bates is your local Grandville, Jenison, and Hudsonville Farmers Insurance agent and is a great long-time supporter of game night and offers business insurance, auto, homeowners coverage, and more. Give Scott a call today at 616-531-3441 or stop into the agency located at 3181 Prairie Street, Southwest in Grandville. 47-45 in Chandler. The note of the day continues to be a little bit of survival right now for Coach Young's team. They're just trying to find a way to keep this thing going, stay in the game, and find a way to come out of it still atop the OK Red and with win number 4 in a row. You're going to have these kind of nights in the stretch of a long basketball season, and this has been one of those nights.
Yeah, it's been a struggle all night long, and it's one of those games you're going to run into, and at this point, you just got to survive. At this point, I think they've been trying everything. For the most part, the Wildcats have been able to speed them up and slow them down when they've wanted to. They've kind of controlled the style of the game. The Bulldogs have been able to keep a lead, but they've never really felt easy in this game. It's never been easy for them. They've been working for everything they've got so far and find themselves in a 2-point game. The Wildcats very much in it.
Yep, very, very well-played game by Jenison. I think well coached from Coach Allen, well executed by this team. Like you said, that they've sped them up, they've slowed them down. They've sped them up, they slowed them down. They've kept them comfortable. They've gone full court. They've gone half court. They've gone presses. They've gone man. They actually haven't shown their 2-3 zone yet. They've just done a little bit of everything to try to continuously make the Bulldogs uncomfortable, and it's done enough to work right now. It also has done enough to still, at the same time, be a little bit of a higher scoring game because there's been a lot of runouts and a lot of turnovers and a lot of sloppiness. So it was not a Jenison timeout, by the way. It was an official timeout because there was some either sweat or something on the floor. I saw Charlie Kleinexel from Grandville down there. He had the towel. He was going to work cleaning off the corner of the floor. And the Bulldogs look to take you out of the trap right here. Over the timeline to Highbore. He'll beat the pressure. 5:25. Man gonna get a chance to set things up a little bit right here with Norton following him to the wing. Good game for Highbore, the sophomore. He's got it with Martins crowding him, and Jenison picks up the pressure. Man attacking, and he'll go to the line. The burst of speed from Tyson Mann. We saw it in the fall. We see it some more in the winter. He'll get 2 at the stripe.
Highbore and Mann running the handoff exchange well outside the 3-point arc, but that allows Tyson to turn the corner and then use his speed in that burst to try to quickly get into the lane and get the defense on their heels.
Got it. 16 now for Tyson Mann. He had 13, beg your pardon, against Grand Haven, 14 against Hudsonville, 14 against East Kentwood. Consistently been there offensively the last few games, and he's able to hit them both and give his team a 2-score lead. Then Slambrook around the Stewart screen, jumping into the lane. That's a travel. It'll go the other way. Slid that back foot, and the Bulldogs take over. 4:52 in the fourth, 49-45.
Slambrook just a little off balance. He was trying to lean in to the contact and try to fight towards the basket.
Norton nearly stole it. Lob over the timeline to a streaking Stockwell. He'll lose possession to Stewart, and Jenison retakes it again out of the pressure. Here's Norton. Gave it to Martins and back. Highbore on Norton, pair of sophomores. Norton attacks, misses it all. Stewart tries to bounce that ball inbounds and unable to save it on the bounce as Hendrickson. Good heady play from Stewart will keep the possession for the Wildcats, 49-45 before 24 in the fourth. By the way, of course, Jenison working with 6 fouls, so the Bulldogs are into the bonus as Chatfield, who has 3 fouls, comes in for the Wildcats. Stewart takes a seat. Slambrook hands off, fed to Dykstra House, drives, blocked by Cam Regneris. What a job to the corner by Tyson Mann to save the ball, and the run out from Stockwell to the rack, got the finish. Good work at the end by Stockwell. He's got 5, but that play came from Tyson Mann in the corner.
Yeah, that felt like a big sequence right there. Regneris able to get the block, Tyson Mann chasing it down, keeping it alive in the corner, and then Stockwell able to take advantage one-on-one.
And Slambrook for Dykstra House. Then Slambrook again. Had some space, but had a pair of Bulldogs flying at him. And Grandville rallying to the ball to Norton in the corner. Chatfield, Bulldogs by 6. Over top of Regneris, got the rattle. 7 for Gage Chatfield. That's a tough bucket, as we always say when you're able to score one-on-one with Cam Regneris. Pressure beaten to Hendrickson. Tyson Mann jumping into the lane. Got it. What a move by Tyson Mann. He's got 19, 53-47. Mann really pulling the team with him down the stretch.
Yeah, everything seems to be working right now for Tyson Mann. We've seen him knock down some shots and then able to get in the lane.
Drive from Vince Slambrook, fouled by Cam Regneris. And Vince Slambrook will go to the line with 3:13 in the fourth, 53-47. So that is 3 on Cam Regneris, still with 3 minutes to go. So that is a little bit of danger zone. He'll stay in the game, but it does take away a little bit of his aggressiveness and effectiveness now, working with these 2 fouls at this point in the game. Vince Slambrook unable to hit the first. He's got another coming. Vince Slambrook along with Stewart, the 2 Wildcats in double digits. They both have 10 offensively. That was team foul number 4 on the Bulldogs, so still a few to give there as we are past the halfway point by just about a minute in this final frame. Then Slambrook missed them both at the line. Martin's the putback, blocked by Regneris. It stays with Jenison. As that one rattled its way out, that was a bit of a risky block from Cam Regneris. He was close to some contact right there on the rejection. Chatfield, Martins, Norton, Chatfield again. Foul. Going to get called on Regneris, and that's 4. That's a tough one to take right there for him as well. That should be a foul on the floor. It's not going to be. It will be a shooting foul, and it'll send Chatfield to the line right here as Heckman comes in. No, it is on the floor. Okay. That's what I'm like. That went from bad to worse for the Bulldogs for a moment right there. 15 foul, and 4 on Regneris is bad enough. Heckman comes in for him.
Yeah, I think quick discussion there. Thinking the Wildcats rather were in the bonus, but they are still a foul short and a couple fouls short.
Martins lobbing for Chatfield. He got inside positioning but cannot score as Heckman brought the defense from behind. The interior going to be a little bit softer right now defensively for the Bulldogs without their big man out there. Heckman for Mann, 2:44, 53-47. Truly into a survival now for the Bulldogs. Here's Tyson, 19 points, poked and regathered by Mann with some good pressure on him from Corbin Bennett. Timeout, Coach Young. He's unhappy, and he really wants to settle things down right here for his team. 53-47, 2.5 to go, but the whole notion of the game changes a little bit when you're going to be without Cam Regneris for a little bit, and then even when he comes back and he's got 4 fouls and his effectiveness will be limited.
Yeah, he's going to have to play pretty carefully if he's able to get back out on the floor here at some point. But I think the 2 quick fouls on the defensive end. Coach Allen for the Wildcats drawing up some touches down low for Chatfield. Able to go right at him. We've seen them respond to that matchup. We wondered who it was going to be, and both Stewart and Chatfield for the Jenison Wildcats have played pretty well here tonight and have responded to that challenge. Some of the best we've been able to see. They've played a physical style of game and been able to try to control the paint as much as they can.
Look inside the Bulldog huddle is Coach Young working with his guys. In a big moment, they'll get a big offensive possession here that they're going to break out of as they try to put some more points on the board and give themselves, the Bulldogs that is, a little bit of a buffer, as Jenison has done everything right in this game to make the Bulldogs uncomfortable all game long. That's been the word we've said several times, and we've said it for good reason. The Wildcats truly have done a very, very terrific job of keeping Grandville as uncomfortable as possible. Tyson Mann had to corral that ball in the backcourt. He's able to beat a couple of defenders over the timeline, and right away, Coach Young wants another timeout. He obviously wasn't happy with how the start of that play came. Something wasn't executed well, and he's forced to burn another timeout. Coach Young is earning his money tonight with the coaching job he's going to have to pull off. And I'm not saying he wasn't expecting it. You can't look past anyone in the OK Red, but, I mean, a little bit more of a tactical grinding game tonight than what you had against Hudsonville or East Kentwood or Grand Haven even down the stretch.
Yeah, that may be surprising, but definitely making them draw up something here as immediately that timeout. Able to get the ball inbounds and Tyson Mann handling the basketball, but did not like the way that was setting up. I think this is a spot the Bulldogs have found themselves in a couple times. They've been right in this 5, 6, 7 point region with the lead and just can't extend it any further than that and get themselves any breathing room.
Tonight, the perfect example. We'll talk about it, by the way, in the Bates Agency postgame show a lot as well, as Mann takes this one in the backcourt. He's trapped in. He is fouled. Coach Allen I don't know if he's not thrilled with the official or not thrilled with his team on the foul call, but that is 7, and that is 4 on Gage Chatfield. And that will send Tyson Mann to the line for a 1-and-1 as Stewart will come in. So, Mann to the line for a 1-and-1, but my point was, it just shows, we always say it in football, but it's even true in basketball. There's not a night off in the OK Red. It really remains as simple as that. I mean, this is a team that's 1-4 at the bottom of the conference. I mean, look at Grandville. Tight game against West Ottawa. Lost to Caledonia. Mann able to hit the first, but tight game here to go along with all those games. Tyson, by the way, to 20 points now. But blew out Grand Haven. Was able to do, double-digit win over Hudsonville. Pretty confident win over East Kentwood, and yet those other tight games. So every game is close in the OK Red. It doesn't matter who you're playing, but good work at the line right there by Tyson Mann, and the Bulldogs able to get that lead up to 55-47. Vince Slambrook in the corner. Around the Stockwell defense, charges and scores. Tough one from Chris Vince Slambrook. That's 12 for number 12, and the pressure will come out here with 2 minutes. Remember, before fouls, Cam Ragnaris on the Bulldog bench. Mann able to beat the pressure all on his lonesome as it kind of cleared out right there. Bennett's on the reach. Mann keeps the dribble. Such an underrated dribbler, I think, as well. Tyson Mann, how he can command the offense. He's gotten a lot better in the offseason, I even think, compared to what he was last year. Mann attacking, scoring. What a bucket from Tyson Mann. He's got 22, and the Bulldogs go up 57-49.
Nice patience from Tyson Mann, able to get the basketball in the corner. Had to cut a tight angle along the baseline, and somehow able to fight back to the middle of the floor.
Then Slambrook bouncing his way to the line. They'll get the foul on Heckman. A lot of foul calls both directions, starting to pick up with 1:24 to go. Foul actually going to be Stockwell, his first, team 6. So free throws the rest of the way for both teams now. Bulldogs into the bonus, and Jenison 1 away, but 2 at the line here for Vince Slambrook, who's done a lot of work at the charity stripe in this contest. 13 now for the junior guard, Chris Vince Slambrook. Here comes Cam Ragnaris for Corbin Heckman. So, again, the Bulldogs keeping 2 wings, and then the big man with a couple of guards. And Slambrook now with 14. You got it both. Here comes the pressure, high board. This is why they've got a couple wings out there to beat the pressure. Off-balance pass stolen by a high-reaching Martins. 6-point game. Jenison with 1:15 can close it down a little bit more here. Here's Norton. For Vince Slambrook. Jenison leading scorer. Works on Hendrickson. Drives, contact, scores. Vince Slambrook now with 16. And a timeout from head coach Dominic Allen. 1:02 in the game. And the Bulldogs lead down to 4. Centennial Securities is a community service-focused, locally owned investment firm with strong Midwestern values. Since the day they opened their doors in 1978, they have and will continue to recognize that it's not prudent to take a one-size-fits-all approach to investing. Check out Centennial Securities online at centennialsec.com. Turnover into points, and that is a trend for the Bulldogs that has to probably get cleaned up. And it's easy to say on their side of things for Jenison, that's what they're trying to do. Efficient scoring on their end, forced turnovers, exact opposite for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, lazy pass, trying to beat the pressure, just something you can't have when you're trying to quickly get that pass in there, allows the time for the defense to recover and able to knock it free. And then Vince Slambrook going right at Cam Ragnaris, knowing he's got to play cautiously with those 4 fouls, able to get right into his body, knowing it's either going to be a foul or he's going to get a chance to go to the rim.
All right, both teams will break it out of their huddles right here, and we will get back to work. Game reset, 1:02 in the 4th, 57-53. The Bulldogs lead by 4. Both teams are working with free throws the rest of the way, as they're either in the bonus or about to be in the bonus, and Jenison will again bring the full court pressure. Here's Tyson Mann in the middle of it. Finds Stockwell. Back to Mann. They've got it beat. Foul, though. There is the reach, and that'll send Tyson Mann to the line. And again, it goes without saying, in general, he's the guy the Bulldogs want at the line, but in particular tonight, huge one for Tyson Mann. He has 22 already. He's looking to add to that in the 57-53 game.
Talking about how well he handles the basketball, I think goes along with it, but underrated part of his game is knowing where defenders are and being able to draw some contact. I think good job of being able to stick the body out there, feel the defender behind him, and draw that foul call.
Got them both 24. His previous career high was set against Westado, 25, so a very good chance for Tyson to up that here tonight. And Slambrook to the corner with 42. The Bulldogs by 6. Here's the sophomore guard, Charlie Norton. Van Slambrook into the lane. Tough pull-up, no. Stewart ties up with Hendrickson, and a foul called from behind on Stewart. Hendrickson will go to the line for a 1-1. 31.8 in the fourth. So now Hendrickson with a big chance at the line, and a couple free throws, or hopefully 2 free throws from Hendrickson's perspective, that may also be the start of a little bit of a sigh of relief that the Bulldogs might be able to breathe from this one.
Yeah, the Wildcats coaching staff hoping that was going to be a jump ball situation. Instead, Stewart called for the foul.
Unable to rattle it home. That one hangs on the rim but won't fall, and Jenison able to keep it going, down 6 with 26. Triggered 3 off the mark, misses everything from Bennett's, but Martins keeps the possession alive. Trevor Martins backing on Highbor. Can't get the finish. Rebound poke to the corner. Stays with Jenison. A bit of contact, a bit of running into each other, chasing after the ball. Timeout from Coach Young. He wants to reset his defense before this next possession. 59-53, 15.4. And again, it's the trend of the game. Jenison continues to do just enough, and Grandville, missing at the line, part of it as well. But Jenison doing just enough to stay alive in this one down the stretch and giving themselves chance after chance.
Yeah, it's exactly what they've been doing. I think even a couple misses. They took a long 3 trying to cut it to a 1-score game, but just the effort to chase down the offensive boards, keeping it alive on the inbound or along the baseline, giving themselves a chance to inbound the basketball one more time with 15 seconds time starting to run out on them, but they continue to play right till the end, giving the Bulldogs a test.
I think the one thing that's kind of plagued Jenison, this is part of just what they have this year, is they're not an A-plus three-point shooting team. And, well, Grand Haven is, and they shot 12% from 3. And Hudsonville is, and they shot 14% from 3. And East Kenwood is, and they shot 11% from 3. Or some combination of those 3 numbers. I mean, Grandville, of course, it's a great three-point defense. That's been the talking point all year long. But when you don't have threes to help close the gap quickly, that's going to take away some of your options offensively. That's where you've seen some of the tough pull-ups, some of the floaters in the lane, and some of the difficulties that they have had because of it. Jenison inbounds it with 14 seconds. Van Slambrook tries the 3. Off the mark. Rebound tipped and secured by the Bulldogs, and ripping it down and out of there is Nate Summers, who's fresh on the floor out of the break. And Summers will go to the line for a 1-and-1, and the 6-point lead was 7.2. And I think for the first time all game long, almost regardless of what happens at the line right here, Grandville able to breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief. They will be able to go into Rockford still on top of the OK Red.
Yeah, never felt easy for the Bulldogs, and good to see Nate Summers get some playing time out there tonight, put some minutes in, got a strong rebound there to close out the game. But I think the Wildcats really just testing the Bulldogs all night long.
Summers 2 of 4 at the line in this one, in Grandville crosses the 60 threshold. 4 seconds. Bennett's 3 over top of Mann, missed it all, and the Bulldogs survive. It was never easy tonight. Jenison, a really, really solid performance. Pretty well-coached game from Coach Allen. Able to find a way to keep his team in this one all night long. They made a lot of really tough, hard-nosed plays as well. But Grandville, like they have all year long, found a way to make just a few more plays, just enough plays, and the Bulldogs go to 11-3 now. I believe is the mark. I'll have to double-check that, but on the season, but at least they are 5-1 within the OK Red Chandler. I don't even know quite where to begin with it. Tough game for the Bulldogs, I think, all around. Not the performance maybe wanted to start to finish, but they won it. That's really all that matters.
Yeah, it is. I think a lot of things from this game that maybe were a little bit ugly and they would like to clean up, but at the end of the day, when it mattered in the last closing minutes, able to close it out and finish strong. I think definitely this is going to be a test next time these two teams play. Once again, as you said, no team that you can overlook in the OK Red schedule, but a test all night long, and ultimately they passed and are going to be happy to come away with a win.
Bulldogs are going to Rockford on Friday, and Brock Conkle and Michigan Sports Radio have the coverage of that. We're off Friday. We are back on Saturday. We'll have all 4 games from the 2K23 showcase at Aquinas. I don't think I need to set that up anymore for the Grandville fans listening than just to say it's Rockford Friday night, and I think they know exactly what that means regardless what the record is, let alone that both these teams will be right around, if not at the top of the OK Red, based on kind of how that game is set up and then ultimately goes. All right. We're going to take a step aside here on the Bates Agency post-game show. When we come back, let's take a look at some of the scoring, and we'll hand out a Centennial Securities Player of the Game. Grandville 60, Jenison 53. Bulldogs find a win. We'll be right back.
The sinister cries haunted Mary through the night. Dawn neared, and still the voice tormented her. She ran towards the safety of her car, flung open the door, and a coyote had somehow gotten locked inside. But the damaged interior was covered thanks to Farmers Insurance. Coyote.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today, 616-531-3441. A proud supporter of Michigan Game Night.
If you're really good at writing, then why use the phone? If you're great on the phone, why use email? If you have exceptional human relation skills, why sit back and let others lead? I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities Company. Playing to our strengths is something we do very well at Centennial. And if you're already a customer, you know what I mean. If not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
And welcome back. Nate and Chandler here from Vanderslice Gymnasium. It is the Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency post-game show. Grandville 8-3 on the season. I don't know where I possibly came up with that last number at Grandville. 8-3 on the year. Jenison falls to 4-9. Bulldogs 5-1, and the Dogs are the top dogs still in the OK Red. I'm going to abuse that one until I can't abuse it no more. CT, scoring recap, please.
All right, for the Wildcats, leading scorer Vin Slambrook with 16, 10 for Stewart, 8 on the side of things. Leading all scorers, 25 points for Tyson Mann, 10 for Regnieris, 7 for Hybor, 7 for Hendrickson, 5 for Stockwell, and then 2 for Hungerford, Summers, and Heckman. That is all.
All right, that is all. All right, Centennial Securities Player of the Game. Pretty easy. Tyson Mann had 24. When he was on the floor, the Bulldogs were winning and pulling away at points, and he was kind of leading the offense. They struggled when he was off the floor. This is just one of those nights where Tyson kind of took control. Regnieris went for 10. He was quieted, I think, throughout a lot of the night, but this was a Tyson Mann night. He is definitely the Centennial Securities Player of the Game. Yeah,
he got an opportunity to take the game over early on. You could see him being very aggressive again off the dribble, able to attack the basket. You saw some hit some big shots as well, and as you said, when he was on the floor most of the night is when the Bulldogs were never having a big lead, but they were having a couple possessions advantage for most of the time, and when he was out off the floor with those couple fouls towards the end of the first half is when the Wildcats took the lead and things were starting to feel a little bit differently, but then as he was playing some more in the second half, able to add to his point total and lead the team to victory.
All right, 60-53, the Bulldogs able to survive, and they win another crosstown battle in this one here today. All right, got through it. What does the rest of the week here on MGN look like? Well, we are going to, on Friday, hand things over to Brock and Michigan Sports Radio. They will have the coverage of that contest. I mean, you can listen essentially where you would have been listening otherwise here tonight, and that game will be on. That'll be a really interesting doubleheader coverage. Brock will have video from Rockford as well, so that will be terrific as always. And then 3 p.m. it starts. We'll be on there at either 2:30 or 2:45. We'll see how exactly it works out. From the showcase at Aquinas, whole bunch of great games. Unity Christian, Reese Puffer, South Christian, and Rockford. All the local teams, some of the best teams from the other side of the state will be there as well. I have nothing more to say about this one. The Bulldogs able to survive in Grandville, stays atop the OK Red. They are 5-1 in the Big School Conference in West Michigan. For Chandler Timmer, I am Nate Dreyer signing off. We'll see you all next time.